raising the federal minimum wage is a contentious part of the COVID-19 relief package. We're approaching the one-year anniversary of COVID-19 shutting down the University of Arkansas and the rest of the country. Tonight on UATV, I'll tell you the story of how the pandemic changed one student's education. From football to fried chicken, how one local businessman found his passion, up next on UATV News. That's right, Kaylin. Many governors have begun changing and lifting COVID-19 guidelines and mandates, leaving many wondering if the end is in sight. However, that doesn't change the fact that so many students have been affected by the pandemic. I'm outside of KDK's Chicken and Waffles, where founder and owner Keith Kidd found his passion in the food truck industry. Take a look.
Can I get the loaded waffle fries mini, please?
Okay.
Before there was KDK's Chicken and Waffles, there was a young man from South Arkansas who got his dream scholarship to play football at the University of Arkansas. Keith Kidd moved to Fayetteville in 1980 and played as wide receiver for the Hogs for 3 years before being drafted by the Minnesota Vikings in the 1984 NFL Draft. Kidd played for the Vikings for 2 years before he injured his leg. He then moved back to Northwest Arkansas, saying this was and still is the place to be.
I know a lot of people here. I made a name myself playing football, and that's what I did, and it worked out perfect for me. It really did.
He started a janitorial business but found his passion in fried chicken.
I love KDK's Chicken and Waffle, man. I love doing this.
KDK's has been open for a year and a half, and it's already a hit throughout the community. Kidd says he took notes from Raising Cane's.
He started on LSU campus, and I'm here at the Arkansas Razorback campus. That's what I want to do.
Kidd says the winter weather doesn't affect business at all.
During the cold months, everybody come by and get chicken. It's like when it's cold, when it's rainy, that's when you see a lot of people. It's really weird. I just want to feed people. You know what? I just want to give them some good chicken.
That's right, Kaylin. Raising the federal minimum wage is a contentious part of the COVID-19 relief package. Right now, minimum wage sits at $7.25 an hour and has not changed in 11 years. The state of Arkansas just raised the state minimum wage to $11 an hour at the beginning of this year. If the COVID package passes, Arkansans who make a minimum wage could see an increase of $4 by 2025. I talked with U of A student Avery Coward, who works at a local boutique and makes minimum wage.
Getting more hourly would be very helpful. My parents lost their jobs because of COVID, and so paying for university is very expensive, and so working here goes towards a lot of that.
A study from the Congressional Budget Office found that raising minimum wage could boost roughly 27 million paychecks across the country, lifting 1.3 million of them out of poverty. The same study found that 1.3 million could become jobless due to businesses not being able to afford to pay employees the minimum of $15 an hour. Opponents of raising minimum wage argue that Congress should not be setting a national standard due to the varying cost of living across the nation. Reporting for UATV, I'm Jaycie Dodd. One University of Arkansas senior says her life hasn't been the same since March 2020 when the university moved classes online due to COVID-19. Finley Daniel hasn't had an in-person class since then, and online classes continue to overwhelm her.
I feel like I had a lot of work, but it was work that I wouldn't have had if I was in person, because they want you to keep doing stuff, but it's maybe not really feeding me or fueling me as much.
Daniel is a theater performance major and says the program just isn't the same. She says she was extremely disappointed when this semester's production was moved to Zoom.
You don't get to see your castmates. You don't get to see the set. There won't really be a set. You'll have a costume, but will they really be able to see it on Zoom? I was grieving a moment I really honestly thought was the only thing that was going to bring me some happiness in this semester.
Daniel is in 18 virtual hours this semester and says online learning is holding her back.
Having trouble to just connect over Zoom. You ask a question, no one's answering, because honestly, I've been sitting in front of a computer all day and my brain is hurting.
Daniel works at Starbucks, where she says it's really her only chance to connect with people.
With everything going on, it's made me realize what really matters.
Looking back, Daniel says she wishes she would have done things differently before the pandemic.
I was always grinding, quote unquote, but I never really experienced as much as I wanted to. And I didn't realize till now. And then I can't because of COVID. And then you're just like, Did I mess up?
One University of Arkansas student is hospitalized after a sledding accident on campus. Like many other U of A students, freshman Elena Girolametto came to this Maple Hill on Monday to enjoy the fresh snow with her friends. Unfortunately, she landed in this ditch where she broke her pelvis in 6 places. The accident was caught on camera. Take a look. I asked her what her first thought was when she hit the rock, and this is what she had to say.
Honestly, my first thought was, why did I decide to do that? I honestly had a feeling that would happen because I kept telling the guy who was lending it to me, I was like, so how do I do this correctly to where I don't get hurt like the guy that just got hurt?
Girolametto was taken to Washington Regional, where she stayed for 2 days. Yesterday, she was transported to a hospital in Kansas to be closer to her family. As of now, Girolametto does not know if she'll need surgery, but she's expected to know by tomorrow. Girolametto says she already misses her friends here in Fayetteville and cannot wait to get back on her feet. Reporting for UATV, I'm Jaycie Dodd.